the RMH wants to excuse their behaviour towards me and the bad decision they've left me with either like dying of multi-organ failure or assisted dying. They want to excuse it by saying, you have a social media account, we don't work with people with social media accounts. So since when do public hospitals get to refuse care based on the fact that somebody has a social media account? I mean, I would say there's a great many people in Australia that have either one or more social media accounts in this day and age. I don't see why that should be a reason to refuse somebody medical care. And I just thought that was really, really stupid to ring somebody up and say, oh yes, we know of your situation, you're very sick and clinically you need our help, but we're not going to give it to you, and we're making a stand because we're demanding that you close your social media account. Well, guess what? I'm not closing my social media account, and I am going to tell my story. And I know that's what you fear most. It's not a rule that if a person has a social media account, the Royal Melbourne Hospital won't work with them. What it is you're frightened of me dying or having something terrible go wrong, and there's going to be this history on social media of my version of what's happened and the truth, and you are scared of that. You know that. Of course you're going to be scared of the truth. You don't want it out there. And that's what this is. You don't want the truth out. And also, you don't want to admit, and neither does anyone else on the team, you cancelled my J-Tube services to intimidate me and to abuse me and to gain my consent for things that should not have been happening to me. Medically speaking, I mean. Because you knew, without intimidation, without leverage of threatening my life and chopping my J-Tube services, you would never gain that consent. And that's part of it. It is you thought that you could cut my J-Tube services and then you would have a lady who would come back because she'd be in great need, and then she would be ultimately exceedingly compliant with the things that you wanted to do, like hypnotism and crazy things that aren't going to work for me. You thought you would have a compliant lamb, but I'm not like that. Do you understand that? When you call my bluff, the kind of woman that I am, there's going to be a problem. And you don't want to have to back down publicly because it's on YouTube. You don't want to have to back down, but yeah, you don't want the consequences of it being public, that you let a woman die, or you let her become seriously ill or disabled or brain damaged her because you decided to play games. And that's what you're worried about. You've got to get her off of social media. Well, guess what? It's here to stay. It's on social media, and it needs to be out there, the truth of what you people have done, because you've played a very bad game for compliance. Instead of sitting down and saying to me, do you want these things? Can we do these things? And when you're told no, just accepting that. It's not just about my life. It's about documenting what you have done. You could pick up the phone at any time and change this. All right? You ring in, staff members of the RMH are ringing me all of the time, regularly. And so therefore, at any time you could change that decision. Yeah, you know where I am. You have made contact with me multiple times. The reason this is public is because it is so serious what you have done to me. I am in heart failure, almost end stage, because of what you have done with withdrawing my J-Tube. And it needs to be made public, and it needs to be on social media, so that when the Coroner's Court of Victoria has to look at this, they know what you did, when you did it, and how horrendous you were. The Royal Melbourne Hospital should be rolling out the red carpet, period, to get me back there to do something about this, because we will end up in the Coroner's Court. You do understand that. That's where this is heading. I'm not playing games, and I am leaving as much information for the Coroner's Court as I can, and you know I have documents to back it up. So that's why you're scared of my social media account. It's not just my mouth. I have documents to back it up. Medical documents. Thank you. Goodbye. My social media stays up.